Hey, I'm Alex with Marc's Mobility. Are you looking to purchase your first power chair? Well, in this video, we're going to go over what to expect when purchasing a power chair, so stay tuned to this video review. So in this segment, we're going to go over how does it feel with driving a power chair. So this is going to be your joystick. Your joystick is going to have different degrees of throw, so however far you press it forward is going to increase your speed outside of changing your drive profile. But to drive a chair, it's simply you push the joystick forward to go forward, right to go right, left to go left, and then obviously reverse. Now the advantage of a power chair is you can hold it directly to the left or to the right and you would spin in place. So it is going to give you a smaller turning radius than as something considered maybe like a scooter on the market as well. Now the overall learning curve on a joystick takes individuals anywhere from a couple of minutes up to a day. So it's not a major learning curve on a chair. But it is going to be a little bit of a learning curve if you've never driven a joystick before. Now, one thing I want to mention to you as well is all power chairs are going to have electric magnetic brakes. So if you drive forward and you let go, it will stop automatically within less than a foot or two, depending on what speed you're going. So it is a nice safety feature to have on a chair, so that if you are worried about a loved one, you just tell them let go of the joystick and it simply will stop in a short period of time. And then you can once again stay in that position until you engage the joystick again. In this next section, we're going to go, what does it feel like to turn one of these power chairs? And inside this category, it is going to be different because there are 3 different drive configurations on the chair. How we get a drive configuration is also going to be where your motor is located on the chair. So it's basically where your larger drive tires are. There are going to be 3 different segments. You are going to have a mid-wheel drive chair, which is going to have your solid 14-inch wheel here, like in this chair, directly in the middle of the chair. Over here, as most of our folding chairs that are on the market are going to be a rear-wheel drive chair, where your larger wheel and motors are located in the back of the chair. And then over here on what we have like as in a Jazzy Select, this is going to be your front-wheel driven unit, where the larger drive tire with your motor is going to be in the front of the chair. So they are going to turn differently, and we're going to show you that here now. All right, so we're showing you here the mid-wheel drive, which is going to have your motor and your large drive wheel here in the center of the chair. This is going to have some of the best turning radius, or not some of the best, it is the best turning radius out of the 3 different configurations, so it's great for inside the home. All you're going to have to do is kind of go about mid-wheel past the point where you want to turn, and then you are going to be able to turn inside that room or hallway, because it is going to turn right from the middle of the chair. All right, so now we're going to show you the rear wheel driven configuration, which is going to be what is on almost every folding chair on the market. For rear wheel, you need to be a little bit farther away from the wall when you're going down the hallway, and then you almost have to go all the way past the turn and then swing in, because what it's doing is it's swinging the front of the unit around, because it's a rear wheel driven configuration. So what we have here is a front wheel driven configuration. That's going to be your larger tire with your motor here in the front of the unit. This is going to feel a little bit more natural for a lot of individuals. All you're going to have to do is kind of go to where your wheel begins to pass the threshold, and then go ahead and make that turn, because it is the rear of the chair that's going to swing around. So you are going to feel that almost forklift type concept where the back of the unit is swinging around. The next category we're going to go over is going to be ramps and incline. This is a very common to ask question of how high can it climb. I mean, every chair that's going to come out on the market is going to be ADA compliant that we sell. So that is going to go up at least a 6 to 7 degree incline, which is going to be a handicap ramp into most buildings. The one thing you want to be wary about is if somebody has a ramp inside their home that's custom made, that's not ADA compliant, anything that has a really steep transition from maybe a decline to an incline, sometimes those culverts at the end of driveways in Florida can create some issues, but as long as you are in that 6 to 7 degree incline, you would not have any problem with the power chairs that we sell. And I also want to mention as well, while you are on a ramp going uphill or downhill, if you do stop and let go of the joystick, it will break and it will hold you in place. So you're not going to have to worry about sliding forwards or backwards on a ramp. All right, so in this segment here, we're going to go over terrain. And I'm showing you this with the lightweight folding chair because this is going to be reasonable terrain. This is kind of a compact soccer field, baseball field type terrain. What we want to really mention here is that there's not really going to be one chair that does everything. Yes, you're going to have all-terrain chairs that can go on the beach and do different crazy things, but those are going to be heavy. You're also going to have folding chairs like this, some of the lightest on the market, that these are going to be lighter with less power, but can still navigate this type of terrain. So we just want to mention to you that there is not going to be a one size fits all for terrain, but at least everything on the market should be able to at least go on this type of soccer field, baseball field type terrain. The next thing we're going to cover is going to be doors and spacing. So what I mean by this is there are going to be different openings that you're going to have to go through. For example, in a standard home, if you have a 3.0 door, which is going to be about 31 inches with a door on a hinge, you are going to need a chair that is going to be about 29 inches or less. Reason being is we get individuals that will call us and say, hey, I have a 24-inch opening in my old home and I want to get a 23.5-inch chair. It's not very realistic to be able to go through an opening with only a 1/4 inch on either side of the chair. A lot of power chairs are going to be anywhere from 23 to 26 inches in overall width. And I notate that because some people want to go on a cruise ship. A lot of cruise ship doors are only about 22 inches on a non-handicap room. So it's very limited on what's out there to actually go through a cruise ship door. But like I said, most standard doors in your home are going to be a little bit wider. So do remember that if you are looking at a chair, whatever your smallest opening in your home that you need to navigate through, you definitely want to have your chair at least a couple inches less in overall width than the space that you're trying to navigate through. Now, while speaking about cruises, we're going to hop right into our next category, which is going to be how to travel with one of these units. So the one thing you do need to be aware of is that there are going to be some units that are going to have lithium batteries in their units, and you do want to make sure that your lithium battery is going to be an airline approved battery to be able to go on a cruise or on a plane. Now, most cruise ships and planes are going to take almost all different types of power chairs, not just the folding type. Almost all of them, if you call ahead of time, it is going to be free to travel with your chair as well. And typically most of these chairs, you can go all the way down to the gate and then get off and get onto the plane, and then they will load this underneath the plane for you. The advantage of some of the folding units are it's very easy to take up the joystick and the battery out and take them on the plane with you. But once again, as long as it is an airline approved battery, you would be able to go on a cruise or a plane. The next thing we're going to cover is going to be transportation. And inside transportation, there's going to be different ways you can transport one of these units. You are going to be able to do it with basic ramps. You are going to be able to do this with different types of lifts behind vehicles, or you can go into public transportation with these as well. Now, some of the units, such as like the Quantum and some of the heavier duty units, are going to have built-in tie-down points. So if you have straps, you can strap that down for public transportation. Some of these smaller lightweight units obviously just fold up and you could pick them up and put them onto some of the public transportation or directly into the back of your vehicle. And then some of the heavier units, if you do want on personal transportation, some of these heavier units, there are such type of lifts outside the back, whether it's a manual carrier or an electric carrier such as Harmar, that you can put on the back of the vehicle, and we do sell these lifts as well. But I do want to notate that not all vehicles can support a lot of weight on the back of the hitch, so that's definitely something to consider. Now we're going to cover sounds. This is a big thing that people ask us about on the chairs. So you are typically on most chairs going to have a sound when you turn it on like this. A little bit of sound just letting you know your power is on. And then now when you do drive the chair, the electromagnetic brakes have to release and engage, since all these chairs have electromagnetic brakes. So you'll hear that when I press the joystick and when I let it go. So there's going to be a click when you start and a click when you stop. It's not going to be the sound all the way throughout. Some motors might be a little bit louder than others, but really the main sound that people complain about is just that clicking sound. Once again, that's your electromagnetic brakes. That is built in. There's no way to take that sound away on a power chair. Now, overall sound from driving a chair, it's not loud. It's not like a big car. It's not like anything else. So it's going to be either almost no sound or a minimal hum that you're going to hear when driving a power chair. Now we're going to hop into overall maintenance on a power chair. So most of these are going to be somewhat maintenance free, in the sense of if you look at a car where you got to change your oil, you got to change different components on your car. What's going to change on these is either going to be your wear and tear items, such as maybe your arm pads or your tires. That's obviously going to be how much you're using the chair. But you are going to have to change batteries about every 2 to 3 years. If it's lithium, maybe it's 3 to 5 years. But outside of that, your motors are sealed. You don't have to do any other maintenance. But once again, this is electronic, so you do want to keep this clean and kind of keep this out of the elements to make your unit last as long as possible. Now we're going to go to overall charging of the unit. So all of these are going to come with a charger. Typically, it's going to plug in right into the front of your joystick. And it is going to depend on whether you're charging a lithium battery or whether you're charging a full sealed lead acid battery, and then obviously the overall size of the battery. Now, a couple things you don't want to do on a lot of units is you don't really want to just plug them in and unplug them on a sealed lead acid battery until it's fully charged. A lithium battery does not really make a difference on what you're doing, but an average charge time on a unit is going to be somewhere as low as 6 hours up to 12 hours. So it is always good if you were to then charge the unit overnight until it is fully charged. And I want to mention that we do have a full do's and don'ts on how to charge a Powerchair video that we'll drop the link below as well in the description. Now, one other thing to mention is on all chairs across the board, whether it's lithium or sealed lead acid, the worst thing you can do is let a unit sit for months and months on end and not charge the battery, because then you can damage the battery and you might not be able to bring it back to life. Now we're going to hop into general safety on a Powerchair. A couple things that I want to mention right off the bat is it's not ideal to stand on a foot plate when getting in and out of a chair. Once again, flip your foot plate up. You also want to be careful if you do have a lot, like ladies that have dresses or a lot of long coats. You want to make sure that nothing is getting tied or caught around the wheel when you are driving the unit. And then outside of that, a lot of these units are tested for some water, but they are not going to be waterproof. So one of the biggest don'ts is don't leave this out somewhere that's getting a lot of moisture on the unit, because obviously that can create issues on the electronics. Once again, almost look at it like it's your computer, right? Treat it something similar to that. And the last segment we're going to cover is going to be overall cost of the units. Most of the units that we're going to sell are going to be somewhere between $2,000 up to $10,000. There are going to be some cheaper units that you might see on Amazon, but beware of some of those units. Obviously, you're not getting a customer support. You're not getting the quality of the products that we sell here at Marc's Mobility. So we always steer our customers, yes, that might be a cheaper option, but if something goes wrong, you basically have to throw the unit away and buy it again, because you are not going to get customer support on those types of units. And we are going to have down in the description below some links to some videos of the best products of Powerchairs currently on the market below. And inside those links, it will take you directly to our website so you can see the costs of what we have available currently today. So to recap, we went over what to expect when buying your first Powerchair. We do want to mention that we are a family-owned business and that we do ship all across the United States. So feel free to give us a call. We'd love to speak with you to basically identify what is going to be the best Powerchair for your needs.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And my name is Alex. We're co-owners of Marc's Mobility.
I started this company in 1995.
We sell many products, not just what you see in this video. If you have any questions or concerns, please call us at the number below at 800-677-6293. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.